So hi, I'm here today with Shruty Garrison, and she is one of my favorite people. I know I say that about a lot of people, but she really is one of my favorite people. I have known her more deeply in the last few years, but I first met you, Shruty, when I was doing my one of my first jobs at the TV station.
Okay.
And you guys had Icoa, and it was the little chocolate shop that was in Pasadena Place. And I remember going there, I was like, wow, this is awesome. There's just chocolate everywhere. Right. So we're talking today about living your mission statement. And I wanted to know how this wonderful woman lives her mission statement. So Shruti, can you tell us a little more about yourself and what your mission statement is?
Mission statement. I think I would have to say what really guides me in making decisions in life, whether it is work or whether it's clothing or whether it is food or whatever it is, it's usually quality, that draws me to something. So whether it's something that's beautifully designed, like time and thought has gone into it, or like the quality, the person who's made something has put a lot of thought and effort into it. So those things guide me. So I try and make that something that I follow or emulate. So I would say I don't know a smarter way to put that, but I think quality drives me, like good quality.
Nice. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, and that is no shortage of the food, the flatware, the everything that we've seen in Icoa and Gaukenlier, everything that you have been a part of that I've seen has been chocked with quality from that day one that I've met you. Right. So tell us a little bit about your experiences where you have gone to that quality and because you're in a service-based environment. So like you're going for that quality and maybe something that you thought was where you were giving quality didn't really pan out, or what you thought was quality conflicted with what your customers maybe thought was quality. Yeah. How does that work?
I think I see that, sometimes people will come and complain about a portion size or, something not being right. And, being in the food industry, you learn quickly that you can't cook for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I might give my best in whether it's a product we create or whether it's a service that we offer. I might give the best that I possibly can, but sometimes things don't gel. Right. Sometimes, somebody else is focusing on something completely different than what you are presenting. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. It just means that that person is not your customer. And that's absolutely fine. Over the years, I've realized you cannot cook for everyone. I mean, I'm sure you've also experienced where you might taste something and you go, oh, I don't like it. But that dish might be popular with other people. Yeah. So, over the years, I've realized it is, it is what it is. And often people, it's a personal experience that they have, and then they say, oh, this is not cooked right, or this isn't right. Meanwhile, we've got standard recipes, so it comes out the same way every single time. Yeah. So I know there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's not your personal preference. And a lot of times you have to bear the brunt of it because that's the service industry. So, you comp it or you basically offer them something else and, you just move on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
so it does happen often.
I love that you said that it's like, this is who you are, and you know that not everybody is your customer, and it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just that's how it is.
That's how it is.
And too many times I've found that we walk away thinking that like we have to please everybody all the time, or we can't get it wrong because that's going to impact our business and it's going to hurt our reputation, and we're going to lose money, we're going to lose customers because we can't get it right. Yeah. So I love that you tapped into that. Like, no, this is who we are as a restaurant, as a business. This is who we are. And if you don't like it, there's like 40 other restaurants you can go to.
And it's we value your customer appreciation. Like, and we value you being our customers. What I'm trying to say, we value that. But if what I'm offering is not up to what your expectations are, then we're just not meant to be a fit for you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and that's absolutely fine because I don't go and visit all the shops that offer service or all companies that offer different sorts of services, you gravitate towards what resonates with you. Yes. And that's fine if somebody doesn't resonate with you, and it's okay. It is what it is. It's actually a good thing, because sometimes, you can look within and say, was that customer right? Do I need to reevaluate what I'm doing? Or is this, is this just a preference?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because often I feel customers giving you feedback is what has made my company grow, really. Because I feel every time, I'll give you an example. When I first started, you know that I started with chocolates, and then eventually we started doing soups and sandwiches for delivery. And the way I work is I represent what I am on the inside, is how I feel I need to do my work, So I feel if I'm making a sandwich and I'm presenting it to you and you're eating it, it's who I am here. So, I'm going to make it like I'm going to make it for my mother or for my husband or for my family or for my friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything that I make is going to represent exactly who I am on the inside.
Yeah.
So when that goes out and somebody complains, the first time I have that complaint, so say maybe we were doing soups and sandwiches for say about 3 months, and I got a complaint from someone. I mean, literally, I thought somebody had stabbed me in the chest. I had a broken heart. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like, oh my gosh, are you saying you don't like me? Yeah. That's what it meant to me.
I poured my heart and soul into the sandwich.
Yeah. And are you saying that you don't like me? I mean, and I was like really depressed. And so I was like, okay, I've got to get over this. And it bothered me for like 2-3 days. And then a few weeks later, it happened again. There was another complaint and it happened again. And I wasn't used to it because I just started my business. So I was giving more than 100% to everything that I was doing. So when it happened again, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go through this again. I cannot let this bother me so much, because I've just started my business, so I have to move forward. And every time somebody complains, if I make it a negative thing or a negative experience for myself, it's going to be very challenging to move forward. So what I started doing was I started analyzing the complaints in a productive way. So when somebody complained that your sandwich, say for example, the sandwich is packed incorrectly, so somebody ends up getting a chicken sandwich, they got a salmon sandwich. So I said, oh, okay, so that is our mistake. We need to take responsibility for that. And how can I fix that so that it never, ever happens again? So I started fixing problems because I never wanted to be stabbed in the heart.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I found was fixing problems made me money. Fixing problems that made me put systems in place, which gave guidance to the people that I worked with.
Wow, I'm just going to pause you right there, because that gave me goosebumps. A lot of the times, like, people may underestimate what taking full responsibility for everything about yourself, about your business, can, like, the possibility that can come from that, instead of just being victimized by it and say, oh, people don't like me, they don't like my stuff, and I'm a failure and I'm not going to do this anymore. Like that, what you said, there was so much power in that to say, hey, people are telling me something. It's, again, it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. This is just an experience that they had, and I can take that and I can make it into something better.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of examples. I can't give you enough examples that I've experienced in my life that I know has been a blessing in disguise for me several times. So whenever on my journey in life, if somebody says no, whether it's on a personal relationship or whether it's like it's a girlfriend, or if it's my family, or even if it's work related or professionally, somebody says no, I know deep down they're pushing me on the path that I need to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when a door closes, if somebody says no, I know that's not my path. If it was my path, that door would have been wide open. And taking responsibility for my actions has been the biggest realization or revelation of how to move forward in my life. Because it makes you question all your actions.
Yeah.
You think about the consequences of your actions in relation to, well, if I do this, I'm assuming a few of these scenarios are going to happen. Am I okay with all of these? Because eventually it's my responsibility and it's my problem and it's my happiness or it's my joy or if it's my sorrow. So how far am I going to go with any of these decisions, and will I take full responsibility for that? So in business especially, I'll give you a very profound experience I had. So I was just starting Icoa, and I was strapped for cash. And when I say strapped, I mean like I didn't have money for laundry, kind of strapped. So I had to move out of the apartment that I was renting, and I was in a flux, and I felt I was a little bit nomadic. I didn't feel I had roots, and I was tight on points. So I asked a really good girlfriend of mine that we were hanging out a lot, and I asked her. I said, and she's still a really, really good friend of mine. So I called her up and I said, look, I need some help right now, and do you mind if I? And she lived in a 3-bedroom apartment, and I said, do you mind if I just become a roomie with you for like a few months? I just need to get grounded. I need to, I don't have enough deposit to rent on my own. So I need to be a roommate. So can I just room with you? And she said, let me get back to you. So, I was like, oh, okay. That took me back a little bit because, we were best friends. We were going out for dinner. We were hanging out. We were doing stuff together. So, there was a lot of, experiences that we were sharing together. So I thought it would be a no-brainer. But when she said, let me get back to you, I was like, oh, okay. So a couple of days later, she got back and she says, I've thought about it and I think I'm not going to do this. So I was like, oh, she says, I just don't want to ruin our relationship. So I've seen this in the past where friends become roommates and they end up hating each other. And I don't want that to happen to us. So I'm so sorry, but I have to say no. And I can't tell you how hurtful that was for me and how disappointing that was for me. And I was really, really saddened by, the comments, because I almost knew that she would say yes. Like I felt assured and guaranteed because of our friendship. And so anyways, when she said no, I, of course, apart from the hurt, I started looking for other opportunities. And I told myself, her saying no is actually pushing me in the direction I need to be. And, I mentally kept telling myself that it's as a consolation, because you're hurt or whatever. Anyways, eventually, through connecting friends, I ended up with a really, really nice guy who became one of my best friends eventually and we are still friends to this day. And he became my roommate. I mean, he had a house and he needed a roommate, so I ended up becoming roommates with him. But he helped me so much in the start of my business.
Wow.
It was that in a way that my girlfriend would have never been able to help me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do? Are you resentful to her, or are you grateful to her for saying no?
Yeah.
So I started learning from that point to be very grateful to people when they say no, because they're pushing you in the direction. It's almost like it's a divine experience. They don't know, but
because if she had said yes, you could have ruined your friendship. You don't know, but you would have missed this golden nugget from this other person.
And this particular person who I'm still friends with, he ended up investing in a way in my business where when I first opened up the shop, he started buying chocolates from me and distributing where he worked. And he worked in a big office. So he started distributing it. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I love your product. I think you've done a great job and I want people to know about it, and so I'm helping you market it.
Wow.
No, not only that, like when I initially started conceptualizing where my table was going to sit, the functionality of the space, he was one of those people who took all my equipment and shrunk it to the correct size, but in reference to the room that he drew. And he said, here's your table, here's your chocolate machine, here's your fridge, here's this, play around with it to see what makes sense to you. Who would have done that? And back then there were no computers.
Right.
So can you imagine somebody giving you a floor plan with all movable parts that belong to, I mean, I loved it. So I was able to figure out exactly how I came in or how a customer came in, and then when I went into the kitchen, where was my workstation? Where was the stove to make all the fillings? Where was the fridge? Where was the sink? I mean, so I would not have had that with her. Do you know what I mean? So and this is just one of a smaller experience that I have, which has been positive when somebody has said no.
Yeah, it's like saying yes to the no.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Like I'm all for it. The more people say no, love it. And the more people make complaints. If you're starting out a business, the more people complain, listen to it, because it guides you forward. It gives you a path forward, and they tell you the truth. And the reason they complain is because they care. If somebody didn't care, they wouldn't complain.
Yeah, because it's easy just to be like, oh, that person's miserable, or they're having a bad day, and not check yourself. And
and I mean, don't get me wrong. Some complaints are just what they are, a complaint, and then there are the majority, I would say, have a lot of value. So you check within and you say, is this a valid complaint? She's complaining about this. Is this right? Let me go and taste it. Yes, she's right. I need to change that. Or yes, this happened when how the transaction unfolded. This happens. So we need to make sure that these. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I love a complaint. Yeah. I love a complaint because it gives you. You have to be grateful for that, and it gives you an opportunity to really shape your business and move forward. It gives you direction.
Yeah. Wow, you said a lot in that. I mean, the thing that there's a couple of things that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
In that story. Trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Getting support.
Yeah.
Because, and maybe you can take us back to that, but I heard when you said, like, you were going through some hard times and you had to ask someone to help you out, ask a friend. Yeah. And that's not always the easiest thing for us to do.
Yeah.
When we find ourselves in difficult situations,
to
reach out for support. So can you tell us a little bit more about who you were being in that situation?
Yeah, I think I was a little lost, and I didn't have any financial income coming in from anywhere because I didn't have a job. And so I know I needed to get help just to get to the next step. I needed to make some movement. And, I was just a little bit lost. And I also find, I mean, of course, that's like a personal accommodation thing that I was looking for. But in business, I always take advice from, a few people that are close to me. I'll pull out some ideas because I feel other people are more smarter than me. So I need to hear what they have to say before I can make a decision. So the decision is ultimately mine, but I need feedback. I need people to say no, or these are the drawbacks, or these are the consequences, or these are the pitfalls, or or this is the progress, or this is what will happen. So I always take advice from other people. Bring it in and regurgitate it, like going for long runs and running this in my head, like especially if it's a decision, or going for walks. I find you can just process things and figure out, and ultimately you kind of find your movement, and you find your strength, or the answer.
Because we always do know the answer.
I always find like people are more than happy to give you information, or to give you experiences that they've had to help you guide in making your decisions. So I always, because it's not like I have a degree in business that I can fall back on. So most of it has been common sense. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Literally, it's common sense. And a lot of decisions have led to mistakes, but to me, they have been lessons that have been extremely invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't have to buck your toe to see where someone else has bucked their toe and told you it hurts.
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's a really great point of being able to put your pride aside for a second and ask for support, ask for help, because if you hadn't taken those moments, your business would look completely different, or maybe not even exist at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I mean, ask everybody. Ask people that you're close to, ask people that you admire, ask people that are successful within the field and that you might know. And even if they're not successful in your field of what you're trying to branch out into, there might be people who are successful in different aspects. And business is business. Yeah. Once a person is successful in business, they just have an intuition. Intuitively, they know the right decision, so they'll help guide you.
Yeah, absolutely. So And I know you guys are kind of in transition of,
yes,
it's almost dinner time too. She's such a busy woman. I'm just stealing a little moment in time with her to do this interview. But what's next for you?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I think probably travel. A lot of it, and I'm looking to get inspired. I'm looking to get excited. I need to broaden my horizons from just being here for so long. It's kind of you end up in this bubble of like your surreal experience that you end up having over here. So I would definitely like to travel a little bit and broaden my horizons and get stimuli from other places or other things and other people that you might not have the possibility of having here.
Cool. Wow, I love it. Love it. Different quality in different places.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Wow. So any last thoughts on living your mission statement and really?
Yeah, I would just say, do your best, because your work really represents who you are on the inside. It doesn't matter what anybody says, and get into the habit of just doing the best that you can possibly do. Like I constantly tell myself, if I'm, if it's a humble sandwich or if it's a fancy meal, I am just going to do it like I'm doing it for my parents, or I'm doing it for my husband, or I'm doing it for my sister. That is exactly how I'm going to do it. So I would just say, in order to have any kind of growth in your business, do the best that you possibly can, because your customers will start noticing that, and people who are drawn to quality will be drawn to you for that matter.
Absolutely. And I can personally attest to that, because I spend a lot of time at Icoa.
She does.
In my corner here, table number 2. So I want to acknowledge you and thank you for taking time to do this and reach out to people and share the experience that you're just an everyday person just like us, and you have just gone out there and made yourself do your best to live your mission statement. And I want to just really acknowledge that quality that you have had from day one is a reason why I'm your customer, is a reason that I feel at home here, from everything from the food. I've never had a bad meal to the wait staff, that everything has been the quality that I personally as a customer look for. So really well done. And thank you for being quality for the rest of us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you.
You're so welcome. So stay tuned for more virtual speaker series on how to live your mission statement, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye.
Visit ChandaVcoaching.com to view more videos in the Living Your Mission Statement series.